All right, what's going on YouTube? This is BoxingWave. I want to do a review of the rematch between Alvarez and Kovalev. Okay, I didn't do a prediction video. Okay, didn't really know where to go with the fight. Usually, if I don't do a fight prediction, it's either because I'm not sure where I'm gonna go with it, or it's because it's like obvious. Like I didn't think that Keith Thurman versus Sergey Lopez was going to be as tough of a fight as it was. I thought Keith Thurman at some point was going to stop him. That didn't happen, but I didn't do a prediction for that fight. Now, I didn't do one with this fight because, I felt like after the first fight, I wasn't expecting Kovalev to lose that first fight, okay? I respect Alvarez. I think he's a good fighter. I think he's one of the best fighters at 175. But I thought Kovalev's power and his skill set was overall better than Alvarez. And I thought at some point, even if he didn't stop him, I thought he would, edge him out on points. Okay, so I didn't do a prediction video on that, but that's how I felt going into the first fight. After the fight ended the way it did, I wasn't really too sure with the rematch because I knew Kovalev had a new trainer with Buddy McGirt. I know how good Kovalev is. I once had him as a top 5 pound-for-pound fighter. Okay, and I had him as a top 5 pound-for-pound fighter for a couple of years. And the thing was his mental weakness. That was the thing with Kovalev, always with me. Seeing the two Andre Ward fights and pretty much seeing what happened with Alvarez, I wasn't too sure where Kovalev stood. I knew how good he was, but I just think that, after watching the first fight with Ward, it's not the fact that I think Kovalev edged the first fight with Ward, but it's the way that it ended. Ward, I felt that Ward did so much better in the second half of that fight. And after what happened in the rematch with that and him getting stopped by Alvarez, I just felt like he's not a guy that I would consider having a lot of heart. He has a great skill set. He has great punching power. But I started to look at him as a bully, So going into this fight and then everything that's happening outside of the ring, I just wasn't sure about him. I thought he was better than Alvarez. He should beat someone like Alvarez, even without a stoppage, like he did in his rematch. But I just didn't know what to think of Kovalev. And after watching this fight this weekend, I realized that he's back. I saw the Andre Ward comments about him not being the same fighter that he was. I think the way I took that as in the same way that I view Sergey Kovalev. I view him as a guy that was the crusher, that was a great boxer, but he wants to destroy you. In this fight, he took a safer approach. He took the boxing approach. Plenty of fighters done it early in their career where they were just destroyers. Floyd Mayweather used to stop a lot of guys, and then he went into the outbox you mode. I'm here to outbox you for 12 rounds. I'm not really here to stop you. Keith Thurman has been taking that approach now since he stepped up in opposition, where he's trying to stop you, but if he can't get it done early, he wants to play it safe and just outbox you, outpoint you for the rest of the fight. This was the first time I really seen it in Kovalev, where he wasn't really trying to stop you. I think the only other fight that I've seen in recent year was against Isaac Chilemba, where he was just trying to box. He was just trying to go rounds. He wasn't really in there trying to destroy Chilemba. And Chilemba did give him some issues, especially with his jab and everything. But Kovalev and Buddy McGirt, they did well. Buddy, even in between rounds, every time he talked to Kovalev, it's very calm, wasn't in there screaming or anything, very calm, I think this is a good thing for Kovalev. I think he needed a trainer that he would listen to, and it's definitely he definitely played a role in Kovalev winning this fight. Okay, because in the first Alvarez fight, I thought that Alvarez just out-toughed him. You know, it is what it is. Kovalev was winning some of those early rounds and everything, but it seems like when Kovalev can't really get you out of there and you're taking his punches well, he doesn't really know what to do, you know, especially because of that stamina issue that he has. So I thought Kovalev took a better time at pace in the fight here, but I also thought he fought smarter. You know, I think Kovalev has some of the best feints in boxing. Like, in later rounds, like after the 6 rounds, because that's when I saw Kovalev starting to slow down a bit, certain moments, certain times, periods of each round, I thought he was surviving. Now, I don't want to say survive, but I thought that he was controlling Alvarez, where Alvarez didn't want to really initiate the offense just based off the feints alone. Like, those feints was getting Alvarez a lot. And those feints look real. They look like he's about to throw a punch. And they would throw off Alvarez's rhythm a lot. Some people feint, they stomp, they overdo it. Kovalev does it in a way where it actually looks like a punch is coming. And that's how he caught Andre Ward, especially in that first fight, for the first, 4 or 5 rounds in that first fight. Andre Ward really just couldn't time him right. He didn't really know what was coming. And Kovalev boxes very, very well. So in this fight, he wasn't really the crusher. He was the boxer in this fight. Like, listen, I'm the skillful fighter here. I'm just gonna outbox you. I'm not gonna go in there to try to knock your head off. There were some moments where I thought Alvarez landed some big right hands. Kovalev actually took it well. I thought his conditioning, he's definitely better in shape, more in shape. Even though he slowed down a bit, it's only natural for a fighter to slow down. But he still paced his stuff much better than he has in his most previous fights, all right? So it was a great performance by him. I was listening to Boxing Beats and Rhymes channel, and he was bringing, everything that he said, I was thinking myself. I just don't know how Kovalev is going to match up with everybody else. Everybody else as far as the other champs, the other top contenders. This new way of boxing is not going to actually work against other people, okay? I think Bivol will be a tough fight, even if he just tries to outbox him, okay? Whether he's the crusher, whether he's the boxer, he's always a boxer. When I say boxer, I don't mean he's always boxing, even when he's a crusher. I don't mean it that way. What I mean is fighting a safety first, type of fight. I believe that Bivol might still be slightly superior to Kovalev. And I think he has much better conditioning than Kovalev. I know Kovalev fought a very, very responsible fight here, but it seems like Bivol always fights that way. Even the way that he stopped Sullivan Barrero was just so random. Like, I just didn't think that would happen. Period. He knows how to really wait to get the stoppage, and he doesn't need it. If it comes, it comes. And, he's just a very responsible fighter. I know Kovalev fought that way for this fight, but I don't know if he's boxing with Bivol, and even if he's having a little success, I don't know how that's going to work in the later rounds, because Bivol can punch too, and he's very, very skillful. I don't think Kovalev can beat him, okay? I personally think at 175, Bivol is the best fighter. But I think Kovalev has a good chance pretty much against everybody else. Alexander Gvozdyk, who recently stopped Adonis Stevenson, as good as I think he is as well, I think Kovalev can hurt him. All right, we've seen Gvozdyk down before. I think he takes a little time to get things going. I think Gvozdyk, if he's still hanging around in the later half of the fight, I think that's when he could be the most trouble for Kovalev, when he does slow down. A lot of movement, a lot of lateral movement with him. A lot of he has great legs, you know, great timing, in and out type of fighter. He's just very, very patient. So that fight, not sure where that would go, but I still would be kind of leaning towards Kovalev if that fight went down. Marcus Brown, it's very hard to call him now because coming up, I thought he was really, really good. Like, he looked to be really, really promising. And then it was a point where I was a little shaky with Marcus Brown. And then I'm thinking, Marcus Brown is actually up there in, like, almost just about every sanctioned body. He's, like, in position to fight any champion. Whether it's Gvozdyk, whether it's Kovalev, whether it's Beterbiev, he's right there. He's high. He's one of the very few fighters that's in a division that's boxing that's like in 1 or 2 spots away from getting a title shot. He's either the mandatory or #1 or #2 or #3. He's like right there. Marcus Brown is tough. He's tough. He has the size, he has the power, and you know, he has a boxing skill set to go with it, you know, and he has the speed as well. And he's great at holding, and I expressed that before. He's great at holding, clinching. You know, he's a very responsible fighter, okay? It gets a little annoying sometimes because he gets a lot of warnings and stuff, but he knows how to make it work for him, okay? I think Kovalev can beat Beterbiev. I think this style that we saw here with Alvarez would be perfect for Beterbiev. Beterbiev is a guy that you have to outbox. Beterbiev is just too powerful to go in there and take any risk with. Just like Alvarez. Alvarez is a big guy. He stopped Kovalev, you know. He just overpowered. He out-toughed. He out-willed Kovalev. Kovalev just couldn't maintain it in the first fight. I think Beterbiev can be outboxed by any of the other champions. It depends on how they choose to fight. You want to go and try to rumble with Beterbiev, not a great idea. He's just too strong. You know, he's just too big, but I think he can be outboxed. I think the other 3 champs are superior overall as far as boxers. I'm not really that impressed with Beterbiev, you know, and he's just not active enough. He's just not active. I don't know what's up with him, but you know, I know he had injuries and stuff like that. I saw his last fight. He got dropped early, but he was fighting a big puncher. But this is like, at this point, it's like one of my favorite divisions. You still have Anthony Yard, who, you know, I made a video recently about him. A lot of the subscribers from UK was throwing a lot of other names at 175 that are up and coming too, that Yard hasn't fought. Yard, I already expressed that. Listen, I don't think he's overrated. I don't think he's underrated. You know, I just think that I need to see more. I'm not sold on him yet. I'm not saying that he's overhyped. I'm just saying that I need to see more. And he's in position now as well, like Marcus Brown, to get a title shot. And he, you know, supposedly wants a shot at Kovalev. I just don't know, man. I don't want to see a fighter. Listen, he's very strong. He's a big guy, quick hands, very athletic, very powerful. I just need to see more from him before I see him in there with a champion. You know, I need something else in there. I really don't like the people he's fighting. I mean, he's always much bigger than them. They all bums. You know, I just don't really like the people. I'm not saying he's not good, but I need to see something before he gets in there with a champion. I can't ever call it with him. You know, he might be the best, but he might be, you know, he might not be ready at all. I just don't know with this guy. Kovalev looked good. You know, it's good for him that he's linked up with Buddy McGirt, you know. And when I made this video, listen, personally, not biggest fan of him as a person, but I didn't want to get into all of that in this video, okay? That doesn't really matter. I always respected his boxing ability. I did think he edged Ward in the first fight. Barely, but I think he did edge Ward. So I respect his talent. And it's good to see that you know, he got his shit together, because I hate to see wasted talent like that. He's a good fighter. Hopefully he keep himself in order, keep, you know, turn it down with the drinking, you know, stay on point, stay sharp even when you're not in camp. He's not one of those guys that can just blow up and start drinking and get into a whole mess. He needs to stay disciplined. All right, because I want to see how all these fights. I want to start seeing some unification matches in this division. And the division is really, really, really talented. And even the top contenders now are really, really good. You know, I really want to see what Marcus Brown does when he steps in the ring. I'm still waiting to see what Beterbiev does. I'm very, very interested. I actually wish Ward was still fighting. But I'm going to be honest with you, I'm a huge Andre Ward fan. Big Andre Ward fan. And I can be honest with you guys, I don't think he would be undefeated if he had to fight all of these guys. There's no way he could beat all of these fighters. It's just too much talent up there. You know? So, just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. And I'll be back with more videos. Got to catch up. I wasn't able to really do any videos while I was in Miami like I wanted to. But still paying attention to everything, all right? So make sure you guys hit subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and see you guys on the next one. Peace.